Hi everyone, welcome once again to my YouTube series. Today I'm talking about a new infrastructure called Reflector. Reflector is currently being built on Stellar. The purpose of the tutorial, I made a technical document, a technical walkthrough of how to use Reflector Oracle in a lending and borrowing platform on Soroban. So if you are new to my channel, the first thing I will advise you to do, if you are new to Soroban, of course, the first thing I advise you to do is take a quick course. I have attached a link to my YouTube in here in this video, whereby you can go and learn everything to learn about Soroban. If you are new to Rust, I also attach a link to learn Rust with just carrying it to exercises on it as well. So moving forward, first of all, what's Soroban? Soroban is a flat smart contract platform that is built on a Stellar blockchain. It enables developers to create scalable and decentralized applications. One of the key features of Soroban is the speed, the low cost, and it's very developer friendly. Talking about Reflector. Reflector is an Oracle. It's an Oracle integration tool that bridge on-chain smart contracts with off-chain data in DeFi applications. So Reflector, like I said, is an Oracle and it's being built on Stellar currently. For this purpose of this video, I'm going to show you how I use Reflector in my contract, deploy one, and write little tests for you as well. So one of the key features of Reflector is that it has secure data access, it is interoperability, and real-time updates. So moving forward of everything, if you don't know more about Reflector, I'm going to attach a documentation whereby you can know a little about it. So currently this is the pubnet, which is the mainnet, and to get the testnet, this is the testnet, so you can have access to the contract address and of the pubnet and also on the testnet as well. It's time to get practical and start coding. The first thing you want to do, like I said, if you're new to Rust, you have to click on this link and you take you where you can just learn a little bit about Rust. If you're new to Stellar, you can click on this YouTube tutorial of mine and you can learn how to create your own, set up a local environment and start coding with Soroban. So the first thing you want to do is to scaffold a new project. Currently speaking, I already have my project scaffolded. I scaffolded a new project using this command, and you can name it, replace this new project with any name. I named my lending protocol and it gave me this full code base like this. And after that, the next thing you want to do is to clone the Reflector code base. So there are two ways of getting access to, because we're going to make a cross contract call in this tutorial. And if you want to make a cross contract call, if you're coming from the EVM chain, making a cross contract call is more of like, okay, using the interface of the contract, then it's for the interface of the contract and contract address of just working with it. But in Stellar, there are different ways of doing it. But for me, I'm going to do that by first of all cloning this repository, then getting the WASM code, and also interacting with it with using the Reflector's deployed address, be it on the mainnet or the testnet. So come here and copy this command, you clone it inside your already existing code base. So I cloned mine, and that's why I had this in here. So after you're done cloning your Reflector contract code base, next thing you want to do is cd into this Reflector contract and run this command. And running this command is going to give you a compiled WASM code, which I'm going to use for everything we want to do. We want to generate a snapshot for our test. The purpose of this generating this snapshot is for us to be able to interact with the Oracle on our test file, because we have to write one or two tests to make sure that, okay, what we're trying to do is working fine, right? So to do that, you run this command. If you want to do the test on the mainnet, you run this command using this command in here. But if you want to do work the test on the testnet, you run this command using this command here on the testnet. So whatever you want to do, you can see that the deployed address of the mainnet was gotten from in here. I got it from in here, and the deployed address of the testnet, I got it from in here as well. So When you're done running that command, you're going to see a generated snapshot.json file. It will be generated for you. Currently speaking, if you are using protocol, if you run the mainnet command, you're going to get the protocol 21 on the mainnet, because protocol 21 not really been moved to the mainnet, so we can't really get the snapshot of protocol 21 to protocol 22. But if you run it on the testnet, you want to come out on the testnet, you will get a protocol 22. And there's something you have to note, because I had this error when I was trying to work on mine. I figured out that when I ran that command, I got the I ran the command and it generated the snapshot.json file for me, and I moved the snapshot.json file from this place, moved it to in here. So make sure you are running your this command. Make sure I run this command in your Reflector contract directory. Start done running into the file for you, then you move it from here, move to this place, because this way you're going to interact with it, right? When I went to test mainnet, I had protocol 21, and I noticed that my calculator file was protocol 22, so it had errors. I couldn't really run tests, I couldn't really compile until when I figured out that okay, I have to run the testnet command to get the protocol 22. So when I run the testnet command, I saw it generated the protocol 22 for me, and it matched my calculator file, which is currently Soroban SDK protocol 22. So I'll take note of that very well. So moving forward, after we're done generating that snapshot, what we want to do is to start writing our lending and borrowing platform, lending and borrowing smart contract. So to get access to the smart contract, you can just click on this link and it will take you to my GitHub repo. It's open source, and this is the complete code base of what I did. So let's just go over them. Let's go over the code to see what's happening step by step, right? The important code. The first thing I did was to import this macro, this attribute on top of our file. But this is very crucial because it tells us that we're not going to use the standard library. And then I started importing everything I need from Soroban SDK. After I was done with that, moving forward, the very important part of this code is this module file, whereby I am importing the WASM code that's been generated for me. To get this contract, if you check your Reflector after cloning though, you won't see this in here. You won't see it in here. But what you have to do, you have to run a command to generate it for you. So when you run this command in the Reflector contract, it's going to generate this WASM code for you, because that's what I'm going to use to make our cost contract call. So when it be generated for me, I came to my lending protocol code base, which is this, and I imported it in here. So this is where it was imported, in here. Make sure you are very careful about this file part, because if you're not careful, you are going to it's not going to work, and you're going to have multiple issues. If you are new to cost contract calls and you want to know how to work on cost contract calls, just check the link attached to this technical document, and I'm also going to attach it where you can know more about cost contract calls. So moving forward, after I was done with that, the main important thing right now is that okay, how can Reflector work with Soroban, right? And how you can get real-time data. So what I did, first of all, I set up a config file. A config file was set where on deployment the initialize function is going to be called, although you can still call the constructor function, but at this point of time I'm using the initialize function, whereby when the initialize function is being called, you set the Oracle address, the admin address, the maximum node, the minimum node as well. But the important thing here that okay, you're setting the Oracle address based on the mainnet or the testnet. So moving forward, there's the initialize function that is very important in here. Let me scroll down, which is this. The initialize function is very important in here. You can see when this is being deployed and called, it sets the Oracle address, it sets the admin, it sets the minimal loan, it sets the maximum loads, the config file that will be called for it. I did the same thing in my test. So moving forward, how exactly is Oracle being used in our contract? Oracle is being used in our contract in terms of when you want to verify the collateral value that's been deposited in our lending and borrowing platform. So whenever the collateral assets is being deposited, this function verify collateral value is being called, and it check the last price or get the price last price of that asset from the mainnet, from the on-chain data. It gets it, and it checks the amount, checks the price, and you able to verify, okay, this is the collateral value like 150% more, or is it less than 150%. So that's how it really works. So when it's done with this, it's been this verify function, verify collateral value, is being called once again in our loan function. So looking at our loan function in here, you can see that this verify collateral value is being called when a user wants to create a loan or request for a loan. This is when it's being called. So when it's being called in here, the borrower address is being passed, the collateral asset is being passed that the user have to use to request for a loan, and when it's being passed, the contract get the assets and verify the data and see if this collateral value is small or if it's less. If it's less, it's going to show an error that okay, it's less. If it's small, it's going to show an error that okay, it is more. So this is just how it works for in here. I have other contract in my code base that shows how you can use Reflector Oracle to get different things. For example, if you want to get the price data, you can use this one to get it here, the last price in here. If you want to check for the liquidity, if you want to check for the cross contract assets, so you can search for a cross contract asset, you can use this function for it. So moving forward, this is how it works in Soroban. Let's test, make sure that everything's working fine. So the first thing to do is in our lending protocol directory, are going to run a command which is stellar contracts. Good. It's running now. Wait for it to run. Yeah, it's done. Mean that it's working fine. Now let's test cargo. Test. Wait for it to run. It's running one test. Now it's done. So thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.